What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on Donkey Kong 64 with you. Donkey Kong 64 was released in 1999 as a successor to the Donkey Kong Country trilogy. Now, this game is the first Donkey Kong game in 3D. It offers a lot of the same aspects of the side-scroller for the SNES in terms of, vine swinging and climbing and all that good stuff. 3D platformer at its best right here. The game also has a lot of old friends in it, like Cranky, except he's doing a little bit of different stuff this time, giving you potions and stuff in order to progress through the game. Also, you have Funky Kong, who is giving you weapons, which you can use to activate switches and kill enemies as well. Very cool, especially because you can get all sorts of cool stuff like infinite ammo and homing ammo and shooting at targets, activating really cool stuff. Also, not the only thing that's from Donkey Kong Country is Rambi, the rhinoceros, and the other animal buddies. Not every animal buddy is featured in this game, but I'm going to show some more in a little bit here. But for now, just let you guys take a look at Rambi. He can kill enemies and use to enter certain areas. Candy Kong is also in this game, but she is now giving us instruments which can also be used to activate pads which open doors. There's lots of different things like pads and stuff and switches and levers, but anyway, the instruments can also be used to kill every enemy in the surrounding area, so it's very helpful, and I was a really big fan of that. I found myself using that a lot in my original playthrough through this game. Big difference about this game and the rest of them is that you play as 5 Kongs instead of 2 Kongs in Donkey Kong Country games. So there's 3 new Kongs. You still have DK and Diddy, classic duo, but this game also added 3 new Kongs called Lanky, Chunky, and Tiny, and they each have their own different builds and different abilities. My personal favorite to play with was definitely Lanky because, well, his bananas look like they'd taste pretty good, and he's just kind of a silly guy, and I'm a fan of that. He's got a patch on his ass, on his overalls, skinny ass white t-shirt. I'm a fan, definitely. Short legs, long arms. Anyways, there's also all sorts of different moves you can get, and you need potions to use them throughout the game. Each Kong has their own different abilities and weapons and stuff. This game has got a lot of references to Donkey Kong Country and, typically Donkey Kong Country 2. I mean the pirate ship here that you'll be seeing with K. Rool on it. Yeah. Good stuff. Like to see that, especially in 3D. It's like, wow, wasn't that in Donkey Kong Country 2? Shit, there it is again in 3D. Good stuff, good stuff. This is On Guard. He is the swordfish that you get to play as in Donkey Kong Country games, and Lanky Kong gets to switch into him. Basically, DK only gets to be Rambi, and Lanky only gets to be On Guard. Wasn't too many animal buddy things in this game. You could count them on one hand, let alone 5 fingers. You could count them on a Simpson character's hand, but even less than that. So, yeah, they were just pretty much used to access different areas that the Kongs couldn't, but in this level especially, Gloomy Galleon, you could have used him to get around a lot. Chunky's special abilities were growing big. I really enjoyed that, especially that you got to use that in the boss fight. Really fun. He got you to do like a bunch of different stuff, I wasn't the biggest fan of Chunky though. He was rather slow, and his golden banana missions were kind of annoying. Pretty much what you'll be doing throughout this entire game is collecting golden bananas and a shitload of other things like blueprints and bananas and banana coins, and it's been so long since I played this game. Well, normal coins as well, but it's been so long since I played this game. It's a lot of stuff that you have to collect. Pretty much this game is a 3D platformer adventure type game, and you have to collect a lot of shit in order to progress. Not too much. I mean, you can collect the bare minimum, which is usually what I did, but when I tried to beat this game 100%, it was hell. Minecarts are back in 3D glory now. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. Really good break from the level. Some were harder than others, but, you know. The characters in this game, I felt in terms of Rareware N64 games, I didn't really like them. The characters in this game, I mean, you know, maybe it's just because I don't get to hear the inaudible croaks from Banjo-Kazooie characters, but in this game, they just don't seem very interesting. They're not very atmospheric, or they don't add anything interesting to the game, so it makes it a little dry in that sense. Certain levels have their own special features, like this one, Fungi Forest, can turn to nighttime. Fun fact about Fungi Forest is this game was supposed to be in Banjo-Kazooie as a level. I believe there's a picture somewhere in Banjo-Kazooie of this level, but instead Rareware decided to put it in this game. This used to be my favorite Rareware game for the Nintendo 64, but that was only because I played Banjo-Tooie after playing this game, and afterwards I figured Banjo-Tooie was much better, because this game, you know, there's just the sheer volume of stuff to collect kind of made it a little annoying at times, and you know, all the Kongs that you have to play through and activate different ones, activate different switches with different Kongs, it just got kind of annoying after a while, but still lots of fun just figuring out random puzzles and activating switches and going to do mini games and stuff like that. The game offered a variety of different levels. I really enjoyed this one, Crystal Caves. It was actually quite challenging. There was some pretty hard stuff in it. To this day, what you're seeing, I still have not completed this area. I remember watching Exits Tyler's video on this, and that was really funny. This part in the game especially. I think about that every time I play through this, but yeah. Igloo part, kind of difficult. You know, every Kong has their own unique instrument. Diddy's was kick-ass electric guitar. It's just awesome. So yeah, pretty much as you can see, you can use them to kill enemies, which you heard, and to open doors. Once you open doors, you'll usually be going inside to collect golden bananas and stuff. You know, that was pretty fun, but I enjoyed some more than I did others. I would have preferred if they had more gold bananas, just like that you had to do different things to get to them, not just activate a switch and go in a thing and, you know, do some sort of a challenge. It got a little repetitive, especially for every Kong. Like, it would have been nice if they had different things for different Kongs. Like, I don't know, maybe Diddy Kong would have to go into the banana barrels a lot, and then Lanky would have to, you know, walk on his hands to get up to a hard place, and I don't know, just things like that. Boss battles in this game, pretty fun. Again, I loved how they utilized each Kong's individual abilities in the boss fights. For example, when you fight this dragon guy with Chunky Kong in Fungi Forest, it uses his ability to grow massive, and you have to fight him like that, so that was really cool. Not all of them use that. I mean, there are some boss battles that you use every Kong in, which was also pretty cool. So yeah, and you know, Tiny Kong, she can spin her ponytails and fly across the pegs in or the towers or whatever they were in the Frantic Factory boss battle. The boss battles are kind of inconsistent. I mean, they don't really get harder and harder. There's like a pair of bosses that are always easy, which is this dragonfly and the armadillo. They're easy both times, pretty much. And then everything in between is difficult, so that kind of throws you off. I mean, the Frantic Factory boss is really hard. Like, that thing is difficult as shit. So, you know, I guess that was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if they planned that, but, you know, it's kind of different, because each boss doesn't really get harder throughout the game. It's like easy, really hard, really easy, hard, extremely hard, easy, medium. You know, it's weird. Yeah, so let me think. Yeah, like especially the ones in between, like the Gloomy Galleon boss and the Frantic Factory boss. Those were two really hard bosses back to back. If I remember correctly, that's the order of the levels. But yeah, again, these boss battles typically fairly easy, but yeah, collect a big key at the end, you know. Bosses were much more interesting in the Banjo games, and even Conker. I mean, for Rareware and Nintendo 64, you know, they all had lots of good character elements to them. They were just really impressive, just the personalities they made up for them. But again, you know, in this game they kind of have it, but when it's just in speech bubbles, it's a little dry, and then after that it's kind of back to collecting. So, you know, lots of cool places you go to in this game. I'm a really big fan of this world, Creepy Castle. I do all sorts of awesome stuff here. I'm just about as big a fan as this level as the Bat level in Conker's Bad Fur Day. Both really cool. You know, good stuff. Using warp pads. This here is a harder minecart thing, because this is the second last world in the game I'm showing here. This is one of the most difficult minecart things in this. It's not too bad, but anyway, just give you guys a look at that. Pretty much in the minecarts you collect coins. There's still Kremlings on the carts, like in the previous games. Attack them from different angles and stuff, except, you know, all sorts of 3D elements of Donkey Kong Country stuff in here. It's cool. You know, again, just opening doors, countdowns, go inside, collect gold bananas. At least they gave us a different environment every time to do it, right? These books here actually kind of look like Cheeto from Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie. They kind of look like the book, with especially the eyes. I kind of stop and take a look at that here. Yeah, so, you know, Donkey Kong 64, I feel that it's not as colorful per se as the other Rareware games for N64. There, you know, it's sort of not really, you know, it's pretty much just a big collectathon, and which isn't bad, but it can get sort of repetitive, and, you know, it's not always very refreshing, because in the Banjo games, you know, you got nice, interesting characters. It's a little bit more atmospheric, but, you know, this game is just kind of more straightforward and more generic storyline. I mean, you know, and just kind of a more straightforward game in terms of collecting things, and a really set way you have to do everything, like, you know, get a different Kong for every little different mission you have to do. So yeah, more references to Donkey Kong Country 2 here. You got the picture of K. Rool as a pirate there. Yeah, Kremlings dressed as ghosts. Overall, this game offers a lot of cool levels for you to explore. You know, this one personally does not beat Gobi's Desert in my opinion, but anyway, every level has, you know, kind of a unique thing to it. This one, you know, day and night switching, really cool. Do different things at night and day. Different things are open at night and day, you know. Really good platforming things that they took advantage of here, especially with cannons, and different Kongs could climb different things. But yeah, overall, pretty fun game. Used to be my favorite Rareware game, but it just doesn't add up to Banjo-Kazooie or Tooie, because it's just, those are a little bit more atmospheric and more immersive, more colorful. This is more just collectathon straight up. So, you know, that's all I have to really say about this game. Still a really great game. I highly recommend it if you like Banjo-Kazooie. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day.